before anyone had ever even heard the phrase, the sentence, don't litigate from the bench. That direction, already the benches, and modern nations equivalent and latter semi-ancients equivalents, and the difference of that, or the overt criminal enterprise, or the private ones, or the insidiousness of the identities of logic A through Z. They had already been forced to entertain or to be sensed uses of identities as identities of logic and or as natures of logic. Tactically delusions wrought, essentially, and or simultaneously. Criminally foreign influence, fact, tribute, nature, quality, aspects in nature. Voting was assigned pretended meaning. For example, simultaneously with delusions regarding its value, in the face of where and how mandated law has been prevented by people shown to pretend other, and to quote statutes and precedents, while having come through campuses sickly distinctly, but sickly non-distinctly too, tactically criminally foreign influence, slash tactically delusions wrought. And the slash part is the self-valued part, where the motivations, narratives, and natures were and are effectively used to screen, here and there, the hyper-foreign body, which has also extorted all groupings of humanity that would then simultaneously defend themselves. It again, self-valued, but, with this trinity. Yeah. In other words, so it is where and how it is. Everything's about the simultaneous nature. Where and how it is easier to discern, or more obfuscated, that non-distinctly, sickly, hurting everyone. So how that has never been capitalized on, where bodies A through Z of the human's volume, to an extent we know. There is a hyper-native course, and it is tactically denatured. To an extent we know, nature itself is showing us the only increasing value of indigenous populations and our needs to fight with them verbally, where everyone wins, even those who lose, to find this hyper-native course. So in other words, they are tactically, sickly distinctly from ourselves, prevented proper appreciation syntactically. Therefore, physically, and this is the difference between that is also having been exploited, where and how there was things being exploited while the sustained, that which we know nobody wanted. Nobody wanted witch trials, no matter who made them up, with motivations to be about slavery, which is at the same time against everyone too. No one wants that against themselves. It was against our founders. Others communicated for our founders through our schools. Other than the actual motivations is spoken, and the real ones are used where and how this nature is important. See, people are pretending their motivations are important where they are not. There are overt criminal enterprises and private ones mixed with our schools, not legitimately with the agencies, with knowns and unknowns, and originally and still. For example, between the North and the South, what slavery was about, what Jim Crow laws were about. It was about that which was left entrenched, that was measuring who was behind the Constitutional Convention. In other words, our founders made the other founders lie about their actual motivations with themselves. They left us to demonstrate this. They had to counter-extort within 13 colonies there were more than 13 colonies. They had to counter-extort. And then at the last of the 13 counter-extorted positions is Wethersfield, Connecticut. still involved with the design of the suburbs before our founders were born for their torture and extortion. In fact, human nature slavery in the form of identity, theft, fraud, slander, where and how. Three ways manifest, because that's how it's, where it's non-distinctly hurting everyone. At countries A through Z, since semi-ancient times, since before modern religion's founders. It is also hyper-evidential, how this has been left out. How it is more probable and demonstrable that the sciences have become criminally foreign influence, so to maintain from off them, but then from on off them too, to maintain other things, others, ourselves. For example, blame for the real cause of negative value nature progressions, acts and natures, through cells. And then to have sense if that's not entertained, which increasingly can't afford, how nature communicates with it as the 5 identities of order, as the 5 parts of time. Control the mind, vaccines, free the hearts.